Welcome back, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith. It is Tuesday, June 14th. Your top stories at 6:30 a.m. on the East Coast. Orlando, Florida, reeling in the aftermath of the terror attack at the Pulse nightclub Saturday night. Citizens holding a vigil last night to remember the victims as hundreds wait in line to donate blood to those injured. I'd like to welcome back Mayor of Miami Beach, Florida, Philip Levine. Thank you for joining us this morning, Mayor.
Thank you, Sandra.
A lot still going, a lot that we still don't know. What do you make at this point in the investigation in Orlando?
Well, it's a horrible, terrible tragedy. And I can tell you that the people of Miami and Miami Beach, our hearts are broken. We had a vigil the other night to honor the victims of Orlando. And I think what it really comes down to, Sandra, it comes down to assault weapons. And I think that Secretary Clinton said it very clearly. We must ban these assault weapons. We must make sure people that are buying guns have stronger background checks.
So, Mayor, you've made your support for Hillary Clinton very clear. Let's get to her specifically making that point in her speech yesterday. Listen.
We have to make it harder for people who should not have those weapons of war. And that may not stop every shooting or every terrorist attack, but it will stop some, and it will save lives, and it will protect our first responders.
Mayor, there's a lot of criticism about the timing of taking that sort of stance when we very well know it is not guns that kill people, it is people that kill people, especially in this particular circumstance.
Well, Sandra, let me ask you a question. If you ask the police, the SWAT teams, the first responders, do they want to see people having assault weapons? They're going to tell you absolutely not. They could have probably got into the building even sooner if this gentleman did not have an assault weapon.
Okay, so, but Mayor, let's go back to the FBI conference. James Comey, the head of the FBI, gave a conference yesterday. He said that he believes at this point it appears that this man was inspired by ISIS, the terrorist group. It seems that the conversation is going to guns rather than the root cause of this attack.
Well, listen, we all know we have a fanatic situation. We have an Islamic fundamentalist situation. It's a threat to our country. It's a threat to our safety of our residents, our citizens of our country. But let's make sure these people can't get these assault weapons. Let's make sure that we have a ban. We need better background checks. We know this. That's a clear difference between Secretary Clinton and Donald Trump. I mean, obviously, Donald Trump is with the NRA. He doesn't want to do anything about assault weapons. He's fine with everybody having assault weapons. I think what Donald Trump was saying basically is everyone who goes to clubs and bars should carry their assault weapon with them. That's not a way for America to live. We must do something progressive, proactively. Our chief of police in Miami Beach, unfortunately, was a chief in Aurora, Colorado during the horrible Batman shooting. He knows the threat, the horror of what these assault weapons bring to our country.
Mayor, I want to bring in one of our Fox News correspondents who's on the table. Leah Gabriel's here, but I'm sure, Leah, you'll be the first to point out that we can't make a comparison to just any other mass shooting. This was the biggest in history,
Absolutely.
And it was inspired by a terrorist group.
Yes, but the thing that I just wanted to jump on, though, is, Philip, you said that first responders, law enforcement don't want people to carry these kinds of weapons. That's a pretty sweeping generalization there. I would argue that there are a number of people who work in law enforcement who actually own these weapons on their own and who very much believe in the Second Amendment. But
so you think if you're a police officer and you jump into a building, you want to have someone who has an assault weapon? I don't think so. Come on.
That's not the question, and that's not the point that you made. You said that you made the sweeping generalization that they don't want people to have them. A lot of them
police officers do not want them to have these.
A
Second Amendment is different than carrying assault weapons, and you know it's totally different.
Hold on. Leah, please continue. Mayor.
Okay. But let's move on. You know, there's been a big argument over the militarization of police, police getting military equipment, things like Bearcats. In this particular case, one was used in stopping this attack. What is your stance on military equipment being used by police and law enforcement officials to protect themselves?
Well, I'm not sure whether it's military equipment, whatever it may be. We must make sure our first responders have the proper weapons, they have the proper Kevlar, all the necessary things to be able to stop an attack like this. But the one thing you don't want is you don't want the crazy fanatic person to have an assault weapon. Why do you want to make sure they do? We want to make sure they don't. And that's what we need to do. That's what Secretary Clinton is saying. Let's ban these assault weapons, and let's make sure the background checks are much stronger. Clearly, something happened with his background check. How did this person get the weapon?
Let's talk about the fact that this man was also also investigated multiple times by the FBI.
I agree.
And
Terrible.
Continued on with this. Listen, there's a much bigger problem going on here that is being identified by the White House, by Hillary Clinton, and that is these extremists that are inspiring these types of attacks in this country right now. What do we do about that?
Well, the first thing we do is we make sure that we have somebody like Secretary Clinton as president who's committed to banning these assault weapons. Donald Trump is okay with assault weapons. Secretary Clinton has the ability and the knowledge to put together a program to go after these lone hunters, to attack ISIS where they are. And of course, Donald Trump, we don't know what he stands for because he literally, you know, whether it's Trump University, he lies every day. We have no idea what he stands for or what he doesn't.
Mr. Mayor, he stands for fighting radical Islamic terrorism, something that Secretary Clinton has struggled,
said? Is that what his teleprompter said yesterday?
And she only got pushed to the right and kind of conceded that she would now willingly refer to it like that yesterday, maybe because she's not running against Bernie Sanders anymore, and she feels a little more comfortable in the middle somewhere.
I guess Donald Trump feels that way because they put it in his teleprompter yesterday, so he's reading a script someone else wrote for him. But he has no experience, no knowledge, and he's alienating the world.
All right, Mayor, I want to get John Hilton out there.
Are you politicizing this tragedy by continuing to take it back to Trump
Absolutely
and Clinton?
not. But let's just talk about, more importantly, it's the assault weapons. That's the issue. You have two people that feel differently about them.
You keep bringing it back to Trump and Clinton. It seems that you're politicizing a horrible tragedy in this nation's history.
No, I think what you're doing, of course, is you're bringing it up as a political item, and I think it shouldn't be a political item. I think it's something as Miami Beach residents and citizens that we know it's a horrible tragedy, and we stand together with the people of Orlando.
Mayor,
but
let
we
me
also
ask you a
know,
question,
and as the
because
mayor of Miami Beach, we do not want these assault weapons.
This is a question that Hillary Clinton has had in her lap for quite some time, and she seemed to have changed her tune a bit yesterday by labeling the enemy. Who do you believe is the enemy that we are fighting right now?
Well, the enemy we know. We know that it's a jihadist, Islamic, fanatic threat that's coming from all over the world, and we must make sure that we secure our country. And Secretary Clinton has a plan to do so.
All right. And we've got the meeting coming up with Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders later today. What's going to happen there? Will Bernie Sanders be dropping out of the race?
Oh, I think what's going to happen is going to see tremendous unity. And Bernie Sanders has said that he wants to continue through the Washington primary. He has every right to do so. The convention is not till the end of July. And Senator Bernie Sanders has brought a lot to this entire Democratic mission, and we expect a tremendous unity coming together.
All right. Mayor Philip Levine, did you have one more thing you wanted to get in here, Leah?
I just wanted to say, you know, to Hillary Clinton's credit, she does have a lot of experience in national security. I just think that to bring the political aspect, the political points of gun control, people's Second Amendment rights so quickly into such a horrible tragedy seems to be a little bit quick. And that's something that we continue to see every time these mass casualties happen, every time these horrible events happen. It seems to become political so quickly.
All right, last word, Mayor.
Well, what do you think we should do? We should forget about assault weapons? That's not what was used?
All right.
Come on, 10,000-pound gorilla in the room.
All right.
And I want to add, the only thing in this teleprompter is your name, Mr. Mayor, and that's it.
All right. Mayor Levine,
thank you.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.